This is an updated demo of my Guild's Starfire. When I got this, I was having an issue with the bridge pickup. I'm going to go back to that demo if you want to hear it. But basically, when I got it, the neck pickup was super loud and the bridge pickup was really quiet, and the split wasn't working, the coil tap. And so today I pulled the knob off and pulled that pot out and saw that the wire, the output wire lug wire, was touching the one with the coil tap. So basically it was always split because the wires were physically touching each other. So I just took a thumbtack and pushed that little wire, like cleared the space between them, so now it's separate. So now instead of a really quiet bridge pickup, you get the normal bridge pickup unless you split it. So I figured I'd do a quick demo of the sounds. Bridge, middle, neck, and then I'll split bridge, middle, and neck. Middle. Neck pickup. Okay, so much more balanced. Again, bridge, neck, so before what I was getting, I'll split the bridge pickup. Before I was getting, and then which obviously isn't right? It should be untapped, so now it's. So now if I do both of them tap, this is the bridge. Here's the neck tapped. Switching to full. Bridge tapped. Full. So the fix for this wasn't too hard. I took the pick guard off because I needed to have better access to the F-hole. These are push-on knobs, so I pulled the knob off carefully, unscrewed the bolt so I could fish that pot out, Fortunately, there's a lot of wire connecting in between, so it's not like I didn't have to take all the pots out. I could just unscrew this one and leave the rest of them in place. Pulled it out on top, kind of looked at it and saw that wire issue, fixed that wire issue, tested it while it was still outside to make sure with my multimeter that it was splitting and going to full, and then kind of slid it back under and pressed it back through and put the bolt back on and put the knob back on. So probably took 4 or 5 minutes, not super long. All I had to use was needle nose pliers to kind of help get the pot out of place and back in place, to be able to pull it, because my hand doesn't fit in the F-hole very well, and then a small screwdriver, and then of course a socket to be able to unscrew and the nut and screw it back in, for the pot. Anyways, yeah, much better, and I didn't have to buy anything. It was just a wiring issue. I'm surprised they didn't catch it at the factory. I mean, honestly, it left the factory like that. The wire was just touching the lug that had the split wires, the two wires that usually you tape off if you don't want to be able to coil tap. Those were soldered in place on the switch. The other wire above it was long enough that it was making contact with there, so it was permanently split until I just pushed that wire out of the way, and then the switch works correctly now. If you have the same problem, don't be scared. It was really easy. I know that normally it's a headache getting fishing stuff in and out of the F-holes, but you literally only have to deal with that one pot if it's one pot, and do one at a time if you have more than one of them with an issue, because that way you don't have to deal with getting everything back where it's supposed to go through the little F-hole there. You only have to worry about getting that one pot out and back in, and that wasn't that really big of a deal. The push-pull pots are not super big. They're tall, but they're not so big that it's hard to get them in and out of place. If I could do it, I think most people could do it. Hope you enjoyed the update, and I'll catch you later.